Hello and welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and today again on the show we'll be talking about a very crucial financial plan, which is retirement. And as far as your retirement planning is concerned, if you are someone who is investing in NPS, you should be knowing that if you are a central government employee, you also have or you're a government employee, you also have an option of investing in UPS. Now, NPS subscribers will be getting an option, government NPS subscribers will be getting an option of shifting into UPS. Now, is that a good decision for you to take? What about the earning or the return or the corpus that you can accumulate via NPS, through which you also invest in equity market, whereas in NPS you get a guaranteed pension. So we'll be talking about all of this in the show ahead, and we will also answer your mutual fund portfolio queries. So just in case you're someone who wants to align your financial goals with your current investments or want our expert advice, you can WhatsApp us your question on 8657974571. And we also have an email ID, which is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So all you have to do is just send across your question with your detailed financial plan, and our financial planners and our experts will do your live financial planning on the show. So let's begin. And should government NPS subscribers move to UPS? Let's discuss this. I have with me Arnav Pandya from Money Edu School. Arnav, good evening and welcome to the show. So now, as we all know, that UPS is one more great option as far as retirement planning is concerned, and especially if you talk about government employees, they get a guaranteed pension from their last drawn salary. An important feature is that NPS subscribers can move to UPS. Who should do this and who should not do this? Because retirement is a phase where, or it's that time of your life where you want your regular income. If you have not planned for it really well, if you're banking on your investments like NPS, and if you are someone who wants to, bank on a pension, UPS definitely gives you a relief of guaranteed pension, whereas in NPS, your money goes into equity and other type of schemes where it's all market linked. You can also have a conservative scheme where you have debt as an investment option over there. But when you want to withdraw that money at the age of 60, there is some amount of money that goes into buying an annuity, and that is a compulsion that UPS has. So if I want to compare, if say someone watching the show right now is a government employee and is investing as a subscriber in NPS and got to know about this new feature about UPS, should they be shifting? If yes, what factors to keep in mind? If no, why?
Good evening, Kavita. So the question here is in terms of each individual and what is their outlook and their risk-taking ability, along with the stage of life that they are in. See, because you have to first understand the nature of what you are getting in NPS, what you are getting in UPS. Under NPS, there is total linkage of the market with what your final amount that you will accumulate. So depending on how you've invested, what is the kind of asset allocation mix that you have taken over your investment journey, plus the kind of returns that they have been able to generate, what will happen is that at the end of the time period, you will get a 60% lump sum. The remaining 40% would be converted into an annual. But the key part in the NPS is that there is no guarantee, or you do not know exactly how much you will end up with. You can obviously make estimates and arrive at that figure in terms of how much you are likely to get. In case of the UPS, there is a fixed amount which you will at least be guaranteed, which is that if you've completed 25 years, then what you will get is at least 50% of the last 12 months basic amount of salary which you are getting. And this becomes like a floor for you in terms of how much you will actually get. So if there is also another provision that if you completed a minimum of 10 years, then you will at least get a minimum of 10,000 as pension. In addition to this, there is also a lump sum which you will get at retirement, which is 1/10 of the amount of your basic plus DA for each 6 months of employment that you have had. So this becomes a very crucial part in terms of determining what is your mindset and what do you think in terms of whether do you want a
Right.
regular fixed amount, a basic
Sure,
amount,
sure.
or do you want to leave it to the market and then decide? Because see,
So,
someone who's young,
yeah,
who has a
exactly,
lot of
exactly. So
time.
it also depends at what particular life stage you are at. If someone who is young, who has the risk appetite, can really look for something that comes with market exposure, and that not necessarily be an NPS. You can also invest in a mutual fund kind of a product if you want a market exposure. You might not want to lock in yourself in an NPS. At the same time, retirement is also a time where you want to stay invested. Maybe certain part of your portfolio can be in equity, but you also need steady income. And that kind of offering, I think you have completely mutual funds. Should people completely ignore UPS, NPS, and maybe it's time to use the offerings made by mutual funds? Or if you're suggesting that one should be investing in UPS, you really need to have something that has market exposure, because we are also talking about inflation, we're also talking about the growth and the compounding benefit that your portfolio needs.
No, so this is for government employees
Right.
who have a contribution going in. So for these employees, it's a question of whether their retirement corpus is going towards the NPS or they select the UPS. Okay, so if they want additional amounts, they can obviously use mutual funds and other routes. Similarly, if you are a non-government employee, there is no question of you taking the UPS, because then you have only the option of the NPS. But for those who have to make a choice, if you are young, if you have a long time period ahead of you, if you believe that the returns generated here will be far more over and compounded over a period of time, you might still want to stick to the NPS thing. But if you are, say, closer to retirement, you want a little bit of surety in terms of how much, at least the minimum which you will get, then the choice of the UPS might be a better option. The thing is that for each individual, you have to look at the stage that they are, life stage that they are in, the kind of mindset that they have, what their exact requirements are, and then they need to make the choice. This is not going to be a mathematical choice which is similar for everyone. So that is one factor which one needs to take into consideration. And here, see, the main difference is there is no surety in the NPS, but here at least you are getting a minimum guaranteed amount. So if you want to play safe, then the UPS becomes a an option for you which you can select if you feel in that particular manner.
Now, considering we have UPS for government employees now, do you think it's going to be a dampener as far as NPS subscribers from government is concerned? Because it was just picking up. We are also looking at figures increasing in the corporate and other retail segment. But talking about government employees, do you think it's going to be a dampener?
So see here, actually, the money is going to remain with the PFRDA. It's just that they are going to manage, account for this in a separate way. The other thing is that for all those people who shift to the UPA, the government is also going to put in an additional 8.5% to cover any shortfall that might occur due to the what the promise has been made in terms of the minimum pension. So in that sense, the money remains with the PFRDA. The point is that you might see a reduction in the actual NPS accounts, but they've just shifted to the UPA. But the key part is that for those who have an option to invest in the NPS, but they are not getting a pension and all, should they go in for it? And that depends on the kind of other choices that they have made with respect to their retirement plan. Because according to me, retirement planning is a big goal. You will require large amounts. So one should not just stick to one single option and hope that this will ensure that all your requirements are met. Whether you are a government employee, whether you are a non-government employee, there are a host of options which some of them are specifically targeted towards retirement, some of them specifically give you a regular source of income, some of them lead to wealth accumulation. So all these should be explored, and your retirement basket has to be there, which will comprise of multiple products. The NPS or the UPS for the government employee is just one of them, but you have to make a choice. And that choice also needs to be balanced out between these various options, because then at least you will be able to ensure that your line of thinking, which is there, is met, and that you do not suffer unnecessarily tensions at the end of the day in terms of what will happen to me or what will happen to the kind of money that I will get after retirement.
Arnav, just to understand more about UPS, how do you exactly calculate the amount of pension that you will be getting? It will be the certain percentage of your last drawn salary, or will that salary be your pension under UPS?
No, under UPS, I mean, if you completed 25 years, then the average of your last 12 months salary becomes the figure, and 50% of that would be the guaranteed pension. Now, the point is that if you've not completed 25 years, it's lesser than that, then there is a proportionality rule which will be occurred. So the minimum amount which you will get as a pension is that if you completed at least 10 years of service, then you will get at least 10,000. So that becomes a thing. And which is why also, in terms of how much a person will get, the number of years that you put in, what is your last salary in terms of the last 12 months salary, all these factors become important because they determine what is the kind of payout you have. So when you are actually, as a government employee, doing the calculations, you need to, on one hand, see that if, for example, X is the amount being contributed to the NPS, what will be the contribution over a period of time? What is the kind of expected return there? And what is the amount that will be accumulated? And then compare it to the figure here, that if X is your salary at the time of retirement, then what is the kind of pension that you will be at least be able to generate? So these are the intricate workings that each individual will need to do before they come up with actual choice. So that plus your mindset in terms of being risk averse or less risk averse, that becomes important.
Right. One more last question. What about the tax implications in NPS and in UPS?
So tax implication is very simple. If you are getting a pension, that pension is taxable. Okay. The lump sum which you get and which can be up to 60% of the accumulated amount, that is tax free. But any pension that you get, either of these systems, it will be taxable. Exact details in terms of how the UPS will be dealt with has to be clarified yet. But the basic understanding is that under the Indian Income Tax Act, any pension that you get from any source is taxable, and which I expect that this will be the case with the UPS also.
All right, so I think that will be all, and now I hope it's easier for all the government employees to understand whether they should be with the NPS, if at all investing in NPS, or they need to opt for UPS. Thank you so much, Arnav, for being on the show and helping our viewers understand all these crucial aspects. Thank you. Time for a quick break, and post that we'll be joined by Anil Rego, who will be answering your portfolio queries. And just in case you're watching this show live and want our help in any aspect of your financial planning, what you can do is just send across your question on our WhatsApp number, and we also have an email ID where you can send across your questions. So be it any financial goal or current suggestion on your investments, do send across your queries, and we will take your queries live on the show.